know that. That's why I was going to offer a hand. I'm sure you don't want it. Yeah, because... Yeah, copy. We are not getting telemetry from that last song. Please stand by.
Some people have suggested that it hit a dome that may be above us, but I thought at that velocity it would have been destroyed. So I didn't think much of it when I originally watched it. When you watch the video, the rocket just stops. And so I started looking up the stats. That rocket went over 3,500 miles per hour on that trip. Now, it might not have been going that fast when it stopped, but it was going a few thousand miles per hour at least, and all that energy just suddenly, where did it go? Rockets don't have brakes. It literally stops, and I mean the rotation keeps going a little bit, but all of that angular momentum from the rotation of the rocket and the linear momentum from flying up just stopped. No, it had to have hit something. But what did it hit? If it hit a solid surface, the rocket would have been destroyed, and most likely the camera too, so we wouldn't have the footage, and obviously that's not the case. So when you start watching it, around that time, around a minute in, a few seconds later the two stages separate. It's a two-stage rocket, it looks like, and you watch the bottom half of the rocket start to fall down, as you would expect. But then the upper half, the way the camera's mounted to it, starts spinning around, and very slowly it starts to fall back towards Earth. Very slowly. And you might think, well, I have it up here, the Go Fast rocket got up to about 117 kilometers. And outer space is considered in the thermal layer. Once you cross into the thermal layers, technically you're in outer space. But what doesn't make sense is, just because you fly vertically into outer space doesn't mean that you're just going to float there. That's not how it works, based on the heliocentric model. You have to have an orbital velocity, and these orbital velocities are incredibly fast. You have to be orbiting the Earth to resist the force pulling down on you, gravity, weight, whatever you want to call it, that pulls down on you. You have to do that. You have to do, basically, this string is gravity. Just to show this again, if you haven't seen that, you have to be moving at a high velocity to resist that force. That rocket went straight up, so it should have fallen straight back down. Now, just to see what the acceleration on that rocket should be, assuming very thin, almost no air up here, because that's what's supposed to be there, I did a calculation at 117 kilometers plus the radius of the Earth, and I found that the acceleration towards Earth, due to gravity, if you want to call it that, or due to weight, should be roughly 9.46 meters per second squared. That's not much. That rate is pretty close to the rate at sea level, which is 9.81 meters per second squared. So it should have basically done this, but it didn't. It stops, and then it just kind of slowly starts sinking, like it's in water or some type of liquid. That's what it looks like. If you really start watching it, the way those pieces are falling, if you get to about 2 minutes and 10 seconds in, you see the other stage, the lower half of the rocket, still slowly tumbling down like it's in water. According to mainstream science, as you get up in these layers, as the temperature goes up, as you get up in these layers, the pressure decreases. The pressure becomes almost nothing in the thermo layer and meso layer as well. But suddenly, it just kind of stops and then slowly starts sinking. What's going on here? Is there water there? There's some kind of liquid? Or some kind of very, very dense gas? Scriptures tell us that there is water up there.
Now, I can't remember this engineer's name, but he is 110% correct on everything that he spoke of, except for the rocket supposedly hitting the firmament. Now, what you are witnessing the rocket hit is what you call the aether, the fifth element, which basically is the first layer of the firmament, according to the ancients. In ancient philosophy, Plato distinguished ordinary air from a translucent kind called aether, which Aristotle later defined as the fifth element, an unchanging celestial substance that made up the stars and planets. Nothing can penetrate through that layer of ether. And that is why you see this rocket come to a complete stop and everything slowly start to fall. And the reason that you have never seen this with a NASA rocket or any other government agency's rocket, because it always curves off before they get to that ether layer of the firmament. As you see here, that rocket always curves off every time because there's a firmament there. Now, every now and then, you'll get the rockets who go up and kind of skid off of the aether, which is the fifth element, the layer below the firmament. That's why it looks like a boat skimming across water, because it's skimming across the surface of that aether, and nothing can get through this, just as the Bible says. They can sit there and skim off of it, just as you're seeing here, and give you some pretty little effects in the sky, but they cannot get through it. Every single rocket that you ever will see will always curve off or scrape along the aether underneath the firmament and give you these platonic pulses, as you're seeing right here. But like I said, that's why their rockets curve off, because they cannot get through the firmament, and this aether layer will stop you before you even get to the firmament, just as it did the amateur rocket launch that you just watched, because there's a firmament. And the director of NASA, Wernher von Braun himself, the chief architect and engineer of NASA's rockets, knew there was a firmament and that we couldn't go past it. And he left us a little message on his tombstone.
Psalm 19. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork.
Sorry to tell you, the only thing that's been to space is your imagination. The only thing that's been to space is your imagination.